And hello, SpeedGaming. This is your boy Elvery Creed here, bringing to you another showcase race for our upcoming 2023 Mega Man 2 Randomizer tournament. As you can see, I was supposed to be having Charlieboy up in the cons booth, but apparently a little snafu came up and he had to step in for a runner that was unfortunately wasn't able to make it. So he's going to be there along with Siberianbull9 to showcase this new rule set that we're going to be showcasing, along with a lot of new bells and whistles that should be showcased in the randomizer, as we have been furiously at work trying to improve things for this upcoming tournament. So, of course, with me being a one-man show, I hopefully to get these guys ready. So let me do that. All right, I have rated our boys up, and we should be good to go very shortly. But for right now, let's start with the basics. What is the Mega Man 2 randomizer? We have a saying in the community that basically that anything and everything that can be randomized is randomized. Basically, the only thing that technically isn't randomized is basically Mega Man's general physics and the overall general layout, except for a few extra cases. But of course, you can see on screens we got cosmetics change. You can see Siberian Bull rocking a base, while Charlie Boy is rocking the classic Mega. And right now we're going through with the usual starter setup. Charlie Boy going to Flash, Siberian Bull going to Quick. These two are usually the first stages that we usually go to, especially with one of our flag sets open, which is visible stage names on the stage select. And as you can see, these are the two usual stages that we start with, mostly because if you can see on Siberian Bull's end, and there was a fan fiend. Good thing Siberian Bull had the knowledge to jump, being the veteran that he is, knowing that that situation can come about. But yes, Siberian Bull got that precious E-Tank, which can be very helpful to try to get through this area, get through the randomizer. Because even though we have this set up on easy, there are very many things that can make this much harder than it seems. Also, to address the question in chat, unfortunately, spike damage is not one of those things that have been randomized. We ain't quite gotten to that point yet, but we'll probably pop it up in suggestions to hopefully have that in future builds. But for right now, we got Charlie Boy being the first, going to the Flashman corridor and see who's in that room. And look, in one of our many sprites, which can look very good or very questionable depending on the randomization of the seed, but that was definitely an airman. And it looked like the airman was done pretty much in a flash. Meanwhile, we have a Flashman sighting in Quick Room, and it was down pretty quickly as well. Both our boys taking care of our first robot masters very early, and Siberian Bull getting item 1 to boot. The 3 items being shuffled within any of our 8 robot master stages, so we have zero idea where these items are going to be until we actually beat a stage. So right now we got Charlie Boy doing some familiar territory, going to Quickman stage, where Siberian Bull has already been treading. Meanwhile, Siberian Bull doing a little bit of differences. He going to Metal Man stage. Under normal circumstances, we probably would wait until we have a little bit more items, especially item 2, to try to make this stage faster. But one of the major rule sets that we're doing for this year is that this is a purely zipless tournament. So all zips are pretty much banned for this entire tournament. And to even make things a little better for our zipless runners, we actually have implemented a code which is in the tournament mode flag set, which is also a new addition to the randomizer. We have made it such that if you try to do any kind of horizontal zip, instead of being zipped to the right in a very quick fashion, actually we have coded now that we actually eject you immediately to the left. So you cannot make any kind of progress in zipping horizontally. Vertically, however, you can still zip, but of course, since zips are forbidden, any kind of zips like that will result in a disqualification. So hopefully, you should not be seeing that amongst our runners. Anyway, Flashman is down on Charlie Boy's end, and we go to Bubble. Meanwhile, we got a Vanilla Metal Man in the Vanilla Boss Room, and he's a bit durable. So Siberianbull take a little bit of extra effort to take down Metal Man, but right now we're still pretty good to go. So it's 2-2 for our for our runners, and right now they're meeting up in Bubble Man stage. As you can see, one of the many changes we have in the randomizer as far as graphical and quality of life improvements is that now we have no more waterfall animations, which means no more flashing and no more bitrate loss, or at least lack thereof. Regardless of the matter, since this is a zipless tournament, as you can see, Charlie Boy is actually walking underwater. They're gonna have to make that long, treacherous walk through spikes and enemies. Right now, Charlie Boy is in pretty good shape, going through the lion's share of the stage. Siberianbull not too far behind. Of course, this is a stage where taking a beating is pretty common. Hopefully, he has enough life, or the RNG decides to give him a good little bit of life, just like you saw on Charlie Boy's screen. And speaking of which, Charlie Boy is now going to our Bubble Room, and we're going to see who is the master of Bubble Man's domain. And it's a very, very interesting Heatman sprite. Like I said, our sprites have been randomized, and in some cases for better or worse. And you can, and right now looks like really doesn't have a weapon to take care of Heatman, and he really wisely takes that energy tank. Heatman still hits very hard. Meanwhile, Siberianbull has a weapon, and he has a much more efficient weapon to take out Heatman in the Metal Blades. And both of these runners are neck and neck, taking care of Bubble Man stage, and both of them getting item 2 for their trouble. Charlie Boy is opted to go to Crash. Meanwhile, Siberianbull, with a much better toolkit, having item 1 and item 2, is deciding to go to Heatman stage. So once again, Charlie Boy using the item 1s. Item 1 is the sole item that has a randomized attribute as far as seem like Charlie. Oh yeah, that's right. Quickman had item 1, so Charlie Boy had item 1 at this point. So Charlie Boy also has a pretty decent toolkit to go through Crashman stage itself for not having item 3, which could help him in the Crash climb that's coming up later on. Meanwhile, Siberianbull taking care of Heatman's domain, going through half the stage. Both of them taking care of their midway points in their respective stages. And one of the things that I should mention is that we do have a new feature, because pausing is now going to be one of the most beneficial things in the randomizer. One of the most crucial detriments to Mega Man 2 running has been that you cannot pause while you have a weapon on screen, but now we have made it so that you can pause no matter what is on screen. You can have any weapon on screen. It can still be out for ages. You can pause and select to a different weapon. You can even have Time Stopper, which not only would just keep on draining and being unable to pause, you can pause right in the middle of it and change weapons or change items at any given side. So the pause feature has gotten a significant improvement and can give a very significant advantage to those that might know how to utilize it properly, including trying to pause to save yourself from damage from falling into pits, because you can pause after taking damage as well. Meanwhile, we got Crashman on a Siberianbull screen, very durable, not the aggro Crash that spans bombs, but still very slow jumping and very hard to avoid. Meanwhile, we got Donkey Kong, who's got one of the worst possible AI sets, a false star leaf shield, or bananas in this case, with a rising leaves, which of course for those that aren't familiar with Woodman AI, is that whenever the leaves are disappear on screen, it's only then that Woodman can fire his shields again, which means if Woodman was able to fire slow leaf shields, he could spam multiple leaf shields at once, which can make the game laggy and very clustering in the boss arena. Fortunately, that wasn't the case for Charlieboy, and we already saw him dispatch the Woodman, but not without taking a few scrapes along the way. Meanwhile, it's going to Woodman, while Siberianbull is going to, once again, familiar territory. We already seen Flashman on when Charlieboy went through the area. So we know we have an airman waiting for Siberianbull. Siberianbull is opting to go and get the juice can. Does he know which? Nope. So we're going to have to be safe to assume that Buster is not a wall weakness. I didn't quite see it on Charlieboy's end, but since Siberianbull is not going straight on to try to destroy the wall with Buster, we know that Buster is not the wall weakness. The walls does have a randomized weakness, we don't know what it is yet, and we're probably going to be waiting a long while before we find that out. Siberianbull taking care of Airman and Flashman's room. So on to his next stage, which once again be following Charlieboy's footsteps going to Woodman's stage. And while we're pretty much going through stuff that we already seen by now, once again, I want to talk about a little bit more of the minor improvements. We have a ton of new graphics added thanks to Charlieboy, who is our former tournament admin. Siberianbull9, who's racing against him now, is our current tournament admin. And Charlieboy has been in charge of adding a whole bunch of new sprites, a whole bunch of new backgrounds. So any good things or bad, you can thank or blame him for it. Meanwhile, as far as music goes, thanks to one of our news contributors, Quantum, we have literally expanded the memory for Mega Man 2 now. So now the game size is actually doubled, and in doing so, we got a ton of new music that should be showcased at some point. And not only that, and I'm pretty sure you've been hearing it since Siberianbull's music is coming through right now, each and every boss currently has a different independent boss tune. So new music situations, and just a whole bunch of new stuff that normally Mega Man 2 in its normal vanilla state probably would not be able to handle. So shout out to Quantum for all his contributions, which also includes helping with coding some of the new pause gimmicks that has been added on. Meanwhile, Charlieboy going to Heatman stage. Siberianbull9 using the rush jet, trying to safely go through the area, again through the final stretches as quickly as possible to fight our Robot Master in the stage. Charlieboy did eventually beat it, but I ended up missing it. So who did I miss? It was Bubble, who I think was a hugger. I think I caught a glimpse of that on Charlieboy's screen. The hugging Bubble Man being one of the most dangerous forms of Bubble Man AI. But Siberianbull using the Metal Blade to its fullest extent, absolutely destroying the Bubble Man stand-in. And once again, like I mentioned, you can thank or blame Charlieboy for some of the graphical upgrades, as we got on Airman stage, we got a special little cameo from one of our former presidents, although customized. In Airman stage, taking the form of our glorious Air Tiki. Speaking of which, Charlieboy should be following suit very shortly, as he goes to Airman as well. taking care of Heatman stage. Seeing our makeshift bubbles, which is the sprite from one of the enemies in Dive Man stage. One of the more annoying enemies to deal with in this stage. And Siberianbull took a little bit of a beating, but fortunately he does make to the checkpoint before dying. So a very well planned, well timed death on Siberianbull's end as we continue on the Rescue Airman stage. So right now it's very, very close between our two runners. Right now, Charlieboy has a little bit of an edge right now, with Siberianbull still having a couple of longer stages to deal with. Actually, I forgot to clear that Metal Man has been seen on Siberianbull's end. So right now we are definitely tied with amongst Robot Masters between the two of them. Siberianbull still has Crash to go, while Charlieboy has a much shorter metal to deal with. So we got, looks like we got a Quick Man, our little fairy-ish Quick Man. Bears a slight resemblance to Cyrano, but I pretty much doubt that is the case. And we found our final item in item 3. Reminder that this is going to be pretty important because Charlieboy did not have item 3 for his Crashman run. He opted to use item 2 shenanigans on the left side, while Siberianbull can use item 3 for the Crash Climb along with the... Ooh, a bit of a beating. Who's blocking the way? It was the Shotman that was blocking the way. Right now, Charlieboy has a very short Metal Man stage to deal with, while Siberianbull has a decently lengthy Crashman to deal with. And both of them do have the items that the other didn't when they first went through their respective stages. Charlieboy now has item 2 so he can fly through the second half of Metal Man stage in short fashion. Meanwhile, Siberianbull, if he opts to accept, can do item 3 shenanigans, as I mentioned before, to make the Crash Climb a little more durable as he climbs on the right side as opposed to the left that Charlieboy has done. So right now, it is still very, very close between Siberianbull and Charlieboy. Right now, I probably would give Charlieboy a little bit more of the edge because he is going to probably be done with the shortest stage opposed to Siberianbull, who's still got a pretty lengthy climb ahead of him. But I'll probably say it's still just a handful of seconds between these two runners who are veterans of the Randomizer game. So Charlieboy is just a few more screens away before going to the Metal Man room, where a vanilla Metal Man does await. Meanwhile, as I mentioned before, we still got a very lengthy Crash Climb for Siberianbull before he gets to his final Robot Master, which should be Woodman. Charlieboy decided to Buster Duel Metal, who is particularly durable, and the damage rate is on, and Charlieboy, if he doesn't be careful, just narrowly escapes getting destroyed by Metal Man, as we do get one of our many, well, a couple of Wily sprites. Say hello to the star of the Kunio-kun series, Kunio, as he is our Dr. Wily stand-in for the day, as we go to the Wily stages. And of course, Chad, if you know our honored tradition, it has not changed from any of our tournaments. There is a dragon that needs guessing. So for you and Chad, I want you to guess the color of our dragon as well as the weakness. However, we do have a couple of new sprites for the dragon. We have our Sage Dragon, we have our Vanilla Dragon, we have our Oats Dragon, we have our Dragoncorn, which has a unicorn horn, but we also have a true swag dragon, And we even have one with some even better shades on. So we're going to see what kind of dragon we're going to be having as Charlieboy is doing the Item 1 climb, just a few screens away from our dragon. Siberianbull not too far behind, starting the assault on Wally stages. Wally 1 showcasing one of our newest tracks. Actually one I never heard of, so if you're asking for music information this time, I'm actually stumped on what this particular track is. If anyone that has the good music knowledge that's superior to mine, feel free to... Oh boy, we got Oats Dragon. So if you guess Pink Oats Dragon, then congratulations, you earned a virtual handshake from me. And right now it seems like we have Crash as one of our weaknesses. So if you at least guess Crash, you got yourself some decent points. Siberianbull, not sure if he's gonna find that weakness. He may find an alternate weakness, but we're gonna be seeing that as we move along. Meanwhile, Charlieboy going through Wally Stage 2 was a little bit of a graphical upgrade. The teleport system holographics, replacing the fans that normally be in the stage. One of those slight extra graphical changes. As Charlieboy is about to be done with the halfway point of Wally Stage 2. Meanwhile, Siberianbull does find Crash as the weakness, as Charlieboy did, and now following suit in Wally 2. So he's about half a stage behind Charlieboy right now. So Charlieboy, as of this current moment, is his way to lose. But there are several things that can definitely still stand away from Charlieboy in victory. Namely, we still have the potential of a randomized Pico unit, and a very dangerous one to boot. But we'll talk about that if we see it. Oh, I see what you're trying to do, Charlieboy. He was trying to go for that suicide dive. Alright. And it looks like we got our Twitch.tv/TiVo integrated Pico unit. Leaf Shield is working, but it's a two-hitter. I would not keep this one, and Charlieboy does eventually make the switch. But he's having a hard time finding a good weakness. It looks like he's gonna stick with Metal Blaze, but Metal Blaze ammo consumption isn't all that great. But looks like he might stick with it. I'm not sure if he tried Heat or Crash yet, especially Heat, but gonna try Crash. And Crash is a one-shot, and we find that it actually has a durable explosion duration, which actually kind of would have been very notable for the dragon fight, because the dragon has no iframes. With a Crash bomb like this, the dragon could have been easily one-shot. But no one tested it, figured it out, so here we are using Crash for the Pico units. Meanwhile, Charlieboy going through Wally 3 with some very upbeat music for our Sura level, which is very Sura like water. Got a lot of underwater critters going through the area. Normally this would be a very dangerous stage, especially for fan fiends, but once again, with our new pause mechanics, you can actually pause while splashing in the water. So normally the splash animation would be the detriment to pausing in the Wally Stage 3. But since the new pause mechanic negates it, Wally 3 is not as dangerous as it could be. And we got a guest star appearance. The Technodrome makes his appearance. A little smaller you probably expect it, but we appreciate the thought. Another one of those little graphical upgrades that Charlieboy added for the guts tank as he takes care of it. Oh my goodness. We got some Type A Tetris for Wally 4, which can be our great equalizer depending on how our quote-unquote anxiety roots play about. Meanwhile, Siberianbull not tailing too far behind, about to go take out our Technodrome tank. And Charlieboy gonna have to utilize the item 2s. One of the strats that we'd normally have if we had our vanilla tile sets is that you can actually kind of trace where the safe spots are. But since we don't have the vanilla tile set, it's definitely safer to try to use item 2 to go over our fake floors, since in those previous 2 rooms, those are randomized. Also checking out Siberianbull's screen as it takes out the Technodrome. Buster was a sufficient weakness. Buster being a random weakness potential for any and all of our Wily bosses. But it's only a 50-50 chance. And it looks like we got our Pyrobots blocking the ladders, so using item 2 winds up not being an option here, because you definitely will be knocked down on that second to last screen. Well, unfortunately, we can't really get the Technodrome to scale to the Guts tank, so the Guts tank weakness is still there. Not all the sprites are unfortunately one-to-one with what we're seeing. Meanwhile, we got the Boo Beams. Look like Charlieboy is testing out our usual god weaknesses in metal and wood. Having trouble finding our wall weaknesses, which we find is a charged heat. Meanwhile, we still gotta find that Boo Beam weakness as a content reminder. Oh, and it actually would have been one of our guard weaknesses, but it's also a pretty durable form of it. But Air Shooter is the weakness for the actual turrets. The walls and the turrets will never have the same weakness, so you should never have a situation where you should run out of weapon energy by using one specific weapon for both kinds of obstacles. Charlieboy taking a little bit of time destroying Boo Beam. We're gonna see if Siberianbull is able to get a faster kill and try to catch up. Meanwhile, and surprisingly enough, this is Dragon Ball Z music. It's from one of the Super NES games. But that is our music for Wally, for our boss rush, assuming Metal Man doesn't flip the script on us. And as far as Charlieboy's screen go, it doesn't. Meanwhile, Siberianbull does find the air weakness and the heat weakness for the Boo Beam and walls respectively. It looked like it took him out a little bit quicker than Charlieboy, but still has a ways to go to catch up to Charlieboy, who is weakness hunting, especially for this durable heat man. And for right now, Siberianbull needs all the time he can get to try to catch up to Charlieboy. Using that metal to fully sustain yet again on the bubble. Taking out our fairy-like quick man, and Charlieboy is halfway done with our robot masters. Throwing out flares in this situation is actually not a bad idea. Once again, thanks to our new pause mechanics, you can actually pause out of the time stopper. So, so checking for a time stopper weakness is a little more beneficial than it normally would have been in vanilla. We got 2 more Robot Masters left. Siberian Bull taking out the crash. And it's halfway done, so it's about 3 Robot Masters behind Charlieboy. And there's our huggable bubble ghost. Although to use Leaf Shield is not quite as effective as the Battle Blade that you saw Siberian Bull use, but it's still a way to keep dealing damage at close range on that kind of bubble. Ooh, Airshoot. Airshoot has the weakness for the first phase of the Wily Machine. Is it the same weakness for the second phase? It is! So we got the best possible weakness for the Wily Machine. And Charlieboy takes care of Kunio's little mechanism. And now is on our way to Victory Road, where our alien awaits. What sprite alien we're gonna get? Who knows? It could be a glorious specimen of an alien, or it could be an eyesore that's a plague on anyone's or everyone's eyes. But right now, Charlieboy doing the short yet long trek down Victory Road, and Siberian Bull does find the air shooter. Does he have the health? Siberian Bull survives the fight. And our alien is a dangerous crystal, which is not weak to the Buster. So the weakness hunt begins. And right now it's not front page. He's doing second page. Is it charge heat? Nope. It is crashing. It is going to do the job. And that is GG's for Charlieboy. Finishing with official race time.gg time of 30 minutes and 48 seconds. Very well done. Meanwhile, Siberian Bull finds the weakness immediately and gets the GG's with an official time of 31 minutes and 14 seconds. Not too far behind, less than half a minute. GG's to both Charlieboy and Siberianbull9 on a very fantastic race. But right now we got Charlieboy pretty much one up on Siberianbull9 for this first of who knows how many exhibition races we're going to have tonight. But for right now, we're going to try to set up for our second match of the night. Will we get some similar things going on? Will we get anything a little different? Who knows? That's for the randomizer to decide, and for you to stick around and stay tuned for watching. So be back in a moment while we set up. All right, everyone, we're back. Everyone had to took their little break. Maybe fix some technical issues on the way, but it's all good. But everyone's back, and we're ready to kick off race two of this exhibition match between tournament admin of old versus tournament admin of new. Charlieboy and Siberianbull9 in this promotional exhibition match for our SGL 2023 Mega Man 2 Randomizer race. So go ahead and get these boys rolling and do a quick little reminder of what's going on here. So, first and foremost, the rule set is pretty simple. Instead of the variety of rule sets that we had in the previous two tournaments, we are dealing with one strict rule set, and it is 80% easy mode zipless. So there will be no zips in this rule set, and to ensure of it, we have actually a newly made tournament flags that actually help prevent horizontal zipping. Vertical zips can still be a thing, but that's heavily discouraged, and of course will result in disqualification if any attempt is made and is successfully done. Regardless, we got our boys running, and they're going through Quick Man stage. Once again, with the stage being revealed, which is one of our tournament flags that are available, we are going to have no secrecy on where the Robot Master stages are going. So our routing is going to be a little bit more standardized, which means once again we're going to start with one of our usual stages, which is Quick Man. Quick Man being very easy to get the E-Tank, which helps along a very tough rando seed. We got Siberian Bull still repping the base. Meanwhile, Charlieboy adding in one of the newer sprite additions made from his hand. He Batman. Yes, Charlieboy painstakingly made a Batman sprite as close to one-to-one as Mega Man as the sprites provide, and they're going to be repping that for this race. Ooh, Charlieboy getting a little too close. Managed to get the one up, but almost costed him his life. Wasted a little bit of time, but it's still not too far from Siberian Bull. And Siberian Bull's the first to go into the Quick Man room. And we found ourselves a vanilla heat. Well, we found ourselves a vanilla looking Heat Man. No sprite changes, but very, very durable. This is going to be a long, long fight. 14 hits to kill. It looks like he has normalized AI, so he's gonna have to deal with this 60, 30, 90 frames of waiting of invulnerability. Charlieboy needs to be more careful than Siberian Bull. Charlieboy can only take one. He probably can't take a hit at all. I think he's exactly at 4 damage, so any touch can kill him. Meanwhile, Heatman has been dispatched, and he gets item 3 for his trouble, and so does Charlieboy. Both our runners still following the same meta. Both of these going to Flashman stage next. Another stage that would have an easy E-Tank if they so choose, but it's also a stage that's very short and very basic. One of the earliest stages you do in Mega Man 2 Vanilla, pretty much one of the earliest stages you do in the randomizer for the reasons I already mentioned. But of course, depending on which enemies are in the way, it can still be annoying to try to either get the E-Tank that should be coming up very shortly, or just be a plain nuisance and just hinder our runners before getting to the Flashman corridor where our random boss awaits. Also, shoutouts to the Mega Man ZX Advent music, Love Overloaded. Siberian Bull wisely making use of the new pause gimmick. You can now pause while taking damage. which can save your life from falling down to a disadvantageous area or just flat out dying. And we have a quick man via Sonic in our flash room, which is which can be a very annoying fight because uneven territories definitely work to the favor of robot masters like Quickman. But right now, Siberian Bull, thanks to swallowing the E-Tank, was able to outlast Quickman, and Charlieboy following suit, and both our boys getting our items. So right now, we're 2 for 2 on items. Right now, item 2 is pretty much outstanding. And with that knowledge in tow, Siberian Bull is opting to go to Crashman stage, where normally item 1 and 3 would highly benefit. If he gets item 2 here, he'll definitely have an advantage over Charlieboy, who goes the usual rando route and goes Bubbleman 3rd. Once again, with our quality of life additions of our waterfalls not being animated or flashing for the sake of our eyeballs. Normally it would be a decently treacherous moving platform room. Once again, pretty much obsoleted thanks to item. A little bit too high for the second item 1. Had to kind of regroup for a little bit, but was able to do so and continuing on through the second half of Crash's stage. Meanwhile, Charlieboy going through the majority of Bubbleman stage, and she'll be heading to the Bubbleman boss room very, very shortly. Of course, once again, everyone, this is the exhibition match for the SGL23 Mega Man 2 Randomizer Tournament. For more information, I just put the command in the chat for further information. We do have another scheduled match for next weekend, next Saturday, in the afternoon, mostly to benefit our more European participants if they so choose. Meanwhile, we do find the Flashman in Bubbleman's room, very easy to dispatch. And Charlieboy going to Woodman stage. Meanwhile, Siberian Bull doing the crash climb with the item 3s and the item 1s, about to go to the Crashman room very, very shortly. Not without a little resistance from our mechanical cylinders, which Charlieboy is also facing right now. And let's see who's in Crash Room. It's a vanilla-looking bubble, but not only he has a different bubble sprite, but he's more dangerous because he's a Huggles. So he's going to be chasing Siberian Bull to the ends of the earth. But fortunately, he has the Leaf Shield to at least make it a little more tolerable. But no item 2 in sight. So there was no advantage to going to Crash early for Siberianbull9. Meanwhile, he does opt to go to Metal. He won't have item 2 to fly over the second half of the stage. So we're gonna see how that's gonna play into things, assuming Charlieboy finds item 2 in Woodman stage. Seeing our fans have a little bit of a sprite upgrade as well. This time utilizing those particular spirit enemies from Yamato Man from Mega Man 6. Charlieboy going through the motions, going through our final sets of screens before going to the Woodman boss room. Siberian Bull about to go through the second half of Metal, where our fan fiends awaits. This can be a very dangerous situation, but I'm pretty sure Siberian Bull can handle it. As a veteran of the rando scene, he should definitely be aware of a potential fan fiend. Oh, and this is kind of annoying for Charlieboy. This is I mentioned a particular Woodman AI when we first saw him, and this is one of the worst case scenarios. Because like I said the first time when we saw our Banana Man this time around, whenever the leaf shield leaves fall upward, that is the signal for the leaf shield to reappear. And with the leaf shield falling away so slowly, as Siberianbull dispatches with the boss in Metal Man's room, the leaf shield can multiply, and it could be so laggy in there that the leaf shield can actually stay in place. So this is actually one of the worst situations you can find yourself in when fighting a Woodman. And Siberianbull is gonna have to deal with that when he goes to Woodman stage. Meanwhile, Siberianbull going to Airman stage, where if you're a fan of Rockman No Constancy, this is actually vanilla. Vanilla music. Well, vanilla comparative to the hack. But that's neither here nor there. Charlieboy making use of Item 1 to ignore the moving platform runes as expected. So Charlieboy should have very little trouble. And both of our runners have reached their respective midway points. Also, notice our Air Tiki sprites are actually the floor, just extra flooring from the Vanilla Woodman stage. Much more appealing to the eye than our demon president that was in our last seed. An Airman stage, which definitely could be one of the more dangerous stages depending on the enemy set, is being pretty kind to Siberianbull right now, as he has no trouble getting through the rest of the stages, and going to our Airman boss room. Let's see who awaits. And say hello to our former president. God, why does bad scissors they exist? That, for those that aren't aware in the world of ROM hacks, there's a ROM hack called Gutman Bad Scissors Day, and one of the robot masters is one of our former U.S. presidents, George W. Bush. That is what that sprite is supposed to represent. And the demon Tiki's is based on his likeness. Yeah, interesting choices we have here as Charlieboy fights our Huggles Bubble, while Siberianbull actually goes into Bubbleman stage. Once again, with this being a zipless tournament, you not only aren't allowed to zip in this run, but once again we have coded the randomizer in such a way in that if you try at least horizontally to try to zip, you'll actually get ejected out to the opposite side rather than ejected forward to the right that you will normally see in vanilla Mega Man 2 runs. Siberianbull safely getting out of that long hallway of despair and doom, and heading through the rest of our stage. Should be all safe to go to fight our boss in Bubbleman's lair. Which is, as we saw on Charlieboy's Inn, was our Flash equivalent, in which Siberianbull dispatches of it very quickly. And now Siberianbull once again going back to familiar territory. We saw Charlieboy take care of this stage, and as we saw, Siberianbull is gonna have a heck of a time trying to deal with this vanilla Woodman that is lying in wait to spoil Siberianbull's chances of a victory here. Charlieboy firing our elect-looking metal man, very susceptible to the Buster, goes down in short order. Battle stage down for Charlieboy. Charlieboy going to Heatman stage, and I think I did not see, actually, with air being left for Charlieboy, and I think Airman was done on Siberianbull's end. It should be deduced that Heatman stage is locking item 2, which means for both our runners, they are required to do the Yoku blocks. But as I mentioned, both Siberianbull9 and Charlieboy are both long-standing veterans of the Mega Man 2 randomizer game, so they should definitely know how to deal with Yoku blocks. Charlieboy using item 1 to his best benefit, ignoring all the prop tops that are standing in the way, and now got to deal with the Force Yoku since item 2 is indeed locked in this stage. Meanwhile, Siberianbull is about to deal with the Banana Man from the dark side, as Banana Man has possibly one of the worst possible AI patterns that you can face. Let's see how Siberianbull deals with this. And unfortunately, Siberianbull doesn't even have to worry about it. He finds one of the randomizer greats. So for 2 Robot Masters, there are very, very strong weaknesses. One being a great weakness, one being an ultimate weakness. What Siberianbull found in the Metal Blade was the great weakness, which 2-shot Woodman, and that is extremely beneficial for the boss rush when we face Banana Man again. Meanwhile, Charlieboy has an Airman to deal with, as he should be 1 Robot Master to go. One Robot Master left. Actually, this should be Siberianbull's final Robot Master as well, but he's having trouble with this singular room here. A little beaten and battered, but he's able to get through it. But yeah, having that extra knowledge for the boss rush can be very beneficial. Charlieboy had a heck of a time trying to deal with that Woodman, so any kind of extra benefit matters in a race as close as this. Also, we saw Charlieboy utilizing item 2 to one of his best benefits, deducing that it could be in Heatman early, locked by Heatman. He opted to use the item 2 for the open air area for the first half of Airman stage. And as Charlieboy did before, a little bit of a miss menu. Siberianbull9 might have thought he had item 1 as a safety, finding out the crash bombs, but once again, thanks to the pause mechanic being fixed, or at least adjusted, you can change while the weapon is still active, so that might have saved Siberianbull from a very dangerous fate. As Charlieboy dispatches our Airman analog and is our first runner to go to the Wily stages. So of course, once again, it's that time as we got Dr. Cossack, who's now actually taking the full antagonistic role of our evil scientist this time around. We got a Wily 1, we got a dragon, you know what the deal is. We have a color, we have a weakness. Chat is up to you to guess both of them. And for a little bit of extra spice, you can guess that dragon sprite. So for right now, this is the sprites we can choose from. We got a vanilla dragon, we got our oats dragon, we got 2 sets of shades, one with kind of like sleek gar shades, think commoner from Gurren Lagann, one with some like cool mode D shades, For those that not aware of who Kubo D is, look it up on Google. For those that are too young to know who he is. We also have our great Oast Dragon, our Dragoncorn, and a true Swag Dragon. Other boy beyond the halfway point of Volume 1, doing standard fare, using all the items to try to get by these vertical areas as quickly as possible. Siberianbull is now reaching the midpoint of Volume 1. And we're about to see ourselves dragon. Charlieboy is the first to see who is going to be our dragon for this particular seed. And we got our original Sage Dragon. If you can see, his eyes kind of like got like that little glare. Meanwhile, it seems like front page isn't doing it. Is the bubble? It looks like it's gonna be bubble this seed, but this is a very slow bubble. If Siberianbull can find a more effective weakness, Siberianbull can gain a little bit of time on Charlieboy. But we still have yet to see, as Siberianbull is about to face our dragon. The little screen icons is saying what you should be doing right now with this music. You better be dancing. But anyway, Siberianbull does find Bubble, so he's not going to gain too much time. But look like he's able to have a little bit of a better spread for the dragon compared to Charlieboy, who had a little bit of an extra struggle using Bubble on the dragon. So he might have caught up a few seconds, but still trailing behind Charlieboy by several screens. And we got our spherical chickens, and Charlieboy is opting to use our reverse leaf shield to dispatch them since they take them down in one hit, with Buster pretty much not doing the job. Charlieboy trying to damage Paws, but wasting a little bit of time when he probably should have just taken the damage and kept going. But regardless, it doesn't matter. He's not too far away from the Pico units, and gets the suicide drop. Charlieboy being risky, showing off to the fans. And we got a vanilla Pico unit. No disappearing shenanigans. But right now, the hunt for the weakness is on. And it looked like it's quick boomerang for one of our weaknesses. Metal as another. Could Crash be one of our other weaknesses? Charlieboy about to find out. And it is. And at this point, I think we would stick to it. It's 1-to-1. So it definitely, he probably would have emptied Crash Bombs completely if he went for it from the start. But in this case, as long as it one-shots, as Siberianbull also finds out in short order, you take those. Saudi Boy forced out of the Wally 2 boss. Siberianbull not too far behind, got 2 more to go. And there you go, Siberianbull done with Wally Stage 2. Meanwhile, Charlieboy starting off with the Wally Stage 3. Which, at least on Charlieboy's end with his coloring, looks like tomato juice. But both our boys able to, Charlieboy able to navigate the spike fall. Just expect the same from Siberianbull9. So I expect both our runners to safely make it to whatever our Guts tank analog is for this seed. Charlieboy is our first to take the fight directly to the Gus tank. And it's not weak to the Buster, so we're doing the good old damage dive, weakness dive. And it's also Bubble. Looks like it was pretty much 1-to-1. There might be a better weakness. We're gonna see if Siberianbull sticks with Metal and see if Metal is good for it. Looks like we got some Double Dragon 2 in our future here. As Siberianbull does indeed find Bubble. And will follow Charlieboy in short order to Wily Stage 4. Right now, nothing too special. Our enemies are very kind here. Once again, the screen that Charlieboy is on and this one that Charlieboy is on right now, these are the only two screens that have their fake platforms randomized. A little crawler on the floor here is giving Siberianbull a little bit of pause here, wasting a little bit of time trying to let it go through. Meanwhile, Charlieboy is now going through our anxiety rooms, which are mostly full of shotmen. We'll see if he goes for item 2 here. As Charlieboy does the Shoka Shoka dance. Shoutouts to one of the earliest Mega Man 2 runner, our Japanese runner Shoka. And Charlieboy does indeed go for item 2 strats. And is able to safely navigate the area, with the shotmen not picking him off. It seems like all we have as our final resistance will be our amphibians, which are just pretty much just a set of mets with some Joes for extra measure. Which leaves us with the Boo Beams. What is the weakness for the Boo Beams and its walls? Charlieboy doing a little bit of early checking with the charged heat and finds, thanks to that little bit of an exploit where whenever you get into a room with charged heat, it does automatically fire no matter what charge you're in. He does find that charged heat is the wall weakness. But unfortunately, none of our god weaknesses seem to be the weakness for the turrets. So we're doing a little bit of weakness hunting. And it's air! Air actually would have been a very good weakness to use, because it bypasses the walls. Never underestimate air shooter in these kinds of situations. Normally for the boobies you would immediately think leaf shield and leaf shield and air shooter. I mean leaf shield and metal blade. My bad. But do not sell air shooter short, especially if it has a good vertical reach. Siberianbull finds air shooter in short order, but he's still trailing behind Charlieboy, who's well into the boss rush. But Siberianbull does have that knowledge of the Woodman weakness. So we're gonna see how that plays into this boss rush. That could play a very, very notable difference into how much time is being saved between Charlieboy and Siberianbull9. So Charlieboy is on his third Robot Master. Siberianbull actually is on his second, so this is actually very important thanks to the weakness discovery that Siberianbull9 has found earlier. So this can be very, very close as Siberianbull deals with a very aggro crash. It took a little bit of hunting, but it looks like air shooter was the weakness for a very normally durable Heatman. And Charlieboy took a little bit of extra time in the menus trying to fill up weapon energy. While the weapon energy is one of the newest additions comparatively to the randomizer, it does take time to fill up your weapons. And this is what I'm talking about. This Woodman fight, if Charlieboy cannot get out of this fight in short fashion, when Siberianbull gets to this fight, which he is right now, because once again, he knows the weakness. And just like that, Siberianbull has turned the race on its head. He is now technically ahead of Charlieboy by Robot Master, but he's having trouble finding that weakness for Heatman. He finds Atomic Fire, but he might have been better off keeping on digging for the air shooter. He's probably gonna take some time to get some energy for that heat, which he does. And Siberianbull9 now had to deal with a chaseable and deals with it with the air shoot. I mean, the Metal Blaze, when Charlieboy just tried to buster him or use Leaf Shield. So once again, just taking the advantage of no weaknesses, Siberianbull9 has pretty much taken at least one Robot Master lead in these refights. Siberianbull9 taking the lead from Charlieboy is now the first to take on the Wall Machine, and he's gonna check weakness. Is it Buster? It is not Buster. So now it's a full-on damage weakness hunt. Who will find the weakness faster? Siberianbull finds Quick Boomerang, but Quick Boomerang is weak for both forms. Charlieboy did find Leaf Shield, but he has to find another weakness because Leaf Shield is not weak to the second phase. Once again, luck is on Siberianbull's side, but now we're at the point where it could be first page versus second page with the Wily Alien. And Siberianbull is committed to the second page, while I think Charlieboy is going to stick with the front page and see if it's Buster weak. And there's only one weakness available for the Wily Alien. So this is going to be insanely close to the end. Both our runners going down Victory Road, about to face down an alien of unknown origin with an unknown weakness. Siberianbull9 is the first to face off our alien analog. Charlieboy not too far behind. And it is close to a Wily capsule. And it's not second page. It is Buster! It was a Buster weakness! Charlieboy just snagged victory from Siberianbull9, sticking with the tried and true Buster, and steals victory from Siberianbull9 with a race time.gg time of 31 minutes 44 seconds. Siberianbull just less than 10 seconds off with a 31:53. In an insanely close race between Charlieboy and Siberianbull9. But between our runners, that means Charlieboy is up 2-0. We're gonna see if we're about to call it there or if our runners still have enough energy for one more. Get to our runners right quick, see how they're feeling. Just getting in contact with our runners to see how we're doing, if we're continuing on or not. It's up to the runners' discretion on how we're going to be doing. This is still exhibition. All right, we are indeed officially calling it, especially with Charlie Boy finishing things off with 2-0 between our runners. We're pretty much gonna call it there for the exhibitions, and I shall be getting our runners into the booth in short orders. And right now, it seems like we do have Charlie Boy here on the in the call. GG Charlie Boy.
GG's Krieg, GG's Bull. What's up, guys? What's up, SpeedGaming? How's it going?
Jeez.
That Woodman, though, huh?
Actually, if I can interrupt, Charlie Boy, Siberianbull actually found the great weakness for that Banana Man in that second seed. He was actually in front of you going to the alien.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that Banana Man, he was bananas, right? So, yeah, that was a bad one.
I mean, he was bananas, but you know, I did use metal to cut him down, so no problem for me.
But yeah, y'all two had some excellent races down to the wire for both races, especially the second seed. Aside from that horrible Woodman, what else stuck out for the two seeds for you gentlemen?
I should have died in Treehouse, but a shrimp saved me. That's the one thing that comes to mind. Is I should have died in the treehouse. I think it was the first scene where the crab was coming down at the right time, but the shrimp hit me and boosted me up onto the ledge where I should have just gone down into the pit and died there. Close calls and spots where I should have died. The first scene where I had less than half health, and fortunately I haven't found air, but the problem with being vertical and that third one being so slow is like, oh geez, I had to spare out where I'm firing these and surviving that. And then not having the health for the airman fight in the second seed where I also should have died. But I was able to get that last lemon out underneath before dying there. So yeah, some close calls.
What about you, Charlie Boy? Anything that sticks out to you as the victor of both our exhibition races for tonight's exhibition?
No, not in particularly. We did get one of the new Wily alien sprites, which is really cool. That our rendition
the
of the actual alien itself, Wily Casino. Our rendition of Casino. Anyways, it's not quite a true casino, but you know. Yeah, I mean, cool to see that. Man, as far as races and the games go, nothing in particular stuck out too bad. A lot of I've played so much of these, man, that a lot of them just run together, you know, like I've got a lot of my strategies pretty much on lock of what I do in this game, and then like, if like the game can throw me a curveball that like sometimes is like kind of hard to get over sometimes, I guess, maybe like, particularly that Woodman the seed or whatever, you know. But other than that, no, you know, smooth sailing pretty much. You know, steadies the course.
Yeah. These two seeds were kind of a moment of like, all right, I got item 1 and 2 in the first seed, and I just went straight to heat to get it out of the way, hoping 3 was there, and then the second seed I had 1 and 3 and went to crash almost immediately, and pretty much I just went wherever I felt like in those 2 seeds. Definitely a little out of the ordinary for me, but it's like knowing the how those seeds went, I'm really stoked as far as, you know, the progress I've made for this seed. But yeah, so I wish I always page 2 Gambit, but knowing that it was lemons for that alien fight in the second seed, it just ooh.
Yeah, that was literally what made the difference because y'all two literally neck and neck. I even called it out if it was the first page or second page Gambit. Siberianbull, you Indigo, second page. Charlieboy just went to the tried and true Buster, and luck had to be a lady tonight for Charlieboy. It wind up having to be Buster Week, much to your detriment. But y'all need to see y'all races for this evening. Those were some fantastic races between the two of you tonight.
I hope we didn't scare anyone off because we were trying to get people to join this tournament.
Oh no, I mean, hey, I'll tell you what, don't be scared of competition, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, hey, and I don't mean to sound cocky or anything when I say that, but man, I'll tell you what, I'd rather see runners that are really good at the game trying their best, and I'll even join the tournament, be like not specifically this tournament, but say like for another game, like I bring up Mario 3 Randomizer enough because I've played in that tournament as well, and I'm not the greatest Mario 3 Randomizer player, right? But I mean, I'd rather have players like Mitch Flower Power or what's the dude's name, Mustard, or Proa 007 does really good work in the game too. You know, I'd rather race against those guys and watch them and see how good they are, so that way that motivates me to get better.
That is a very true statement. One of the things that you really got to realize is that you can't be afraid to try these things. I know that these things look very, very intimidating, but you can't get over it unless you actually try to enter and try these things. This is why we stress very, very much that this is an open bracket available for everyone at all skill levels. Don't be afraid to try these things out. If you love the original game or just love how the randomizer presents itself, just try to get in and have fun with it. Don't be discouraged by seeing players better than you, or compare yourself and think you're not worthy to be in these things. Just try. That's the most we can ask of you to do. And hopefully with these exhibition races, in which we do have one more scheduled for next weekend, which is the following Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight. On that particular Saturday, hope to see more people there, especially for those that might be on the European side of things, because we're catering to them for that particular race, and have more participation to try to at least get yourself active in this randomizer community.
Yeah. On another note, tomorrow I know it's not speed gaming related, but I like to announce it. Tomorrow night on General Andrew's channel, I'm having a race with our species, so come check that out. But that's gonna be tomorrow night, but it's also gonna be early in the morning. It's very West Coast centric, so it's gonna be definitely in the AM when that race happens.
Yeah, they Bull and RSBC on General Andrew's channel. They kind of took a page out of myself and RSBC's little rivalry we had during the tournament last year. They have like cut promos and everything. There's some materials behind it. Join the Discord, you guys, and check them out. It's kind of funny stuff, you know. I mean, we're not exactly wrestlers, but we do. We do our best to be wrestling fans and geeks and nerds and all that good stuff. So it's funny. Go check them out.
At the end of the day, it's all about fun, and we like having fun.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah. Other than that, I mean, I just want to thank SpeedGaming for having us on once again. You know, big shout outs to Creed for commentary. I know. Originally, nobody was signed up for commentary. It was supposed to be Poison Curls, and I think maybe even one of our runners from last year that hasn't quite entered the tournament yet. Yeah, and little cousin Catnip. They were supposed to race tonight, and both of them ended up being busy or whatever the case may be. So I stepped in the race, and Creed stepped in to commentate. So big shout outs to him for doing that.
Yeah.
Big shout outs to all you guys for watching. Join this tournament. We can't stress enough. Play this game. It's so much fun. Who cares how good the people are that are playing, that you're watching? Get a hold of it. I'm telling you guys, if you like it enough, you'll get as good as us. Trust me. Especially if you continue to play. Yeah, get involved in the community. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, any last shout outs for you, Siberian SB? Charlieboy pretty much said his piece already.
Yeah, I have nothing left to say. He's pretty much dotted all the I's across all the T's. But you know, again, we want to see a lot of you guys try this randomizer out. We really do.
And with that, we're pretty much just done with this particular exhibition piece. Once again, we do have one more that is more European centric next Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight. So we hope to see many of you viewers there, and maybe some of you might be able to participate. I don't know, who knows? But we hope to still see you there regardless, be it runner or viewer. But until then, once again, thanks SG Gaming for once again allowing us to host yet another tournament. This time, Siberianbull9, who is our racer, being our tournament admin this time around. Thank him.
It's on Sunday, not Saturday.
I thought I saw Saturday.
I'm pretty sure it's Sunday, ain't it?
It's supposed to be Sunday. We can always we don't
No,
realize.
I'm looking at it right now. Thanks for correcting me. It is on a Sunday. I saw 23rd and I thought I read Saturday.
Sorry to interrupt your beautiful outro.
Oh no, not at all. I need people to keep me in check. That what good friends do. But yes, Sunday, July 23rd at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight, we'll have our final showcase race. Showcase to you on whichever Speed Gaming channel we will be set upon. Speaking of which, thanks to Speed Gaming, as I mentioned already, for allowing us to host another tournament. Once again, thanks to Duckfist, who is the original creator of this randomizer. Thanks to the many community members that take up the cause when Duckfist stepped down, like Squidman, Matt Ewalker, Charlieboy, who helped with the sprites and adding them in, Quantum, one of our newest additions, helping with coding and addition of music, and so many others that contributed that I probably hadn't named right off the bat. We just thank the whole community for stepping up and continue to help the randomizer community grow. And for Speed Gaming 1, this is your boy LV Creed. For our runners, Charlieboy and Siberianbull9, take good care of yourselves, and we hope to see you next weekend for our final showcase race. Take care, everyone.
Later.